I can still feel the weight of his stare from that night. Heavy, silent, cold. It wasn't anger. It came from someplace deeper, a quiet, unspoken kind of devastation. The kind of place where grief settles after it's done screaming. He had just read the email. It was 4 years old, an archived conversation I had long forgotten about. I don't even remember why I kept it. Maybe part of me thought I already deleted it. Maybe part of me couldn't. I'll never know. But he found it, not because he was snooping. He was just trying to fix the printer in my home office. He opened the wrong folder. That's it. That's all it took. The first words out his mouth were, "How long?" No hello. No, what is this? No hesitation. Just that. And I froze. I looked up at him, saw his hand holding the mouse, still hovering in his face, stone cold, unreadable. But his eyes had already gone hollow. That's the thing. When someone you love breaks, it doesn't happen with yelling or drama. It happens in the eyes. That's where you feel the floor drop out from under you. I stood up and said his name. Quietly, I just said, "Nathan," and he flinched like I had hit him. He didn't yell. He didn't throw anything. He just stared, blinking like he was underwater. "Was it just one guy?" he asked. I didn't lie. I couldn't. I said yes. He nodded, then walked out of the room. Slowly, he closed the door behind him like he was trying not to wake a sleeping baby. That was 3 weeks ago. He hasn't touched me since. He hasn't called me by my name. And today, he said he wanted a divorce. But let me tell you the whole story. Not the one in that email. Not the one he pieced together from digital fragments. Mine, the full one. For years ago, I was in a place I barely recognized. We had just moved to a new house. Bigger, better neighborhood, new kitchen. All of it was supposed to mean something, a reward for the years we spent struggling. But it didn't feel like a reward. It felt like a museum. Too quiet, too clean, too far from who we were. Nathan was working more than ever. His company had expanded. He was flying out twice a month, sometimes more. I'd wake up and he'd be gone. I'd go to bed and he'd still be in meetings in other time zones. We stopped having meals together. We stopped having anything, really, and I didn't cheat right away. It wasn't like that. It started with loneliness. Not the kind you feel on a quiet afternoon. The kind that builds in layers. The kind that makes you question your own reflection. His name was Adam. He was a colleague from a freelance design project I took. Just a 6-month collaboration. Nothing big. I wasn't looking for anything. I didn't dress differently. I didn't go out of my way. But he noticed me. He asked how my day was. He remembered little things. My favorite cafe. The way I like my notes printed instead of emailed. He complimented my handwriting. That's what I remember most. No one had said anything about my handwriting in years. Nathan hadn't noticed anything about me in a long time. One night, after a long meeting, I was about to leave, and Adam asked if I wanted to grab a drink, just to unwind. It was late. I should have said no, but I didn't. I said just one. That one turned into 3. And after 3, I told him I should go. He said, "I don't want to cross a line here, but you seem really alone." And I broke. Right there in the bar, I cried. Not a little. I cried like I was mourning something. I don't even know what I told him that night. But I remember he didn't try anything. He just sat there. He listened. He let me be small for a moment. That's how it started. We didn't sleep together until weeks later. It wasn't physical first. It was emails, late-night texts, inside jokes, feeling like I mattered again. Like someone saw me. Like I wasn't just an appliance that folded laundry and paid bills and answered school emails and booked dentist appointments. I knew it was wrong. Every time I looked at our kids' photos on the fridge, I felt it, but I couldn't stop. It felt like I'd been underwater for years, and someone had finally pulled me up. It lasted 7 months. And then I ended it. Not because I got caught. Not because Adam asked for more. I just woke up one morning and realized I wanted my husband back. I wanted to try again. I wanted to be whole again without the borrowed light of someone else. So I cut Adam off. I didn't explain. I just stopped replying. I changed my number, switched my email, everything. I buried it and tried to move on. And for a while, it worked. Nathan and I found a rhythm again. It wasn't magic, but it was real. We started sitting down for dinner again. We took a weekend trip upstate. We even made love on a Thursday morning while the kids were at school. And it felt like a new chapter, a fragile one, but new. I thought I could carry the secret to my grave, not because I was proud of it, but because I didn't want to destroy what we rebuilt. I didn't want my children to grow up in a broken home because of a version of me that doesn't exist anymore. But the email, that one email, it was buried in a folder labeled Archive Freelance 2019. He clicked it by accident, trying to reinstall a printer driver. And there it was, an old thread, a thank you from Adam, a memory, a digital ghost. And now Nathan looks at me like he doesn't recognize me. Like every memory he's ever had with me is now counterfeit. He told me he can't sleep without hearing the words from that email in his head. That he imagines me smiling at another man the way I used to smile at him. That he wonders if the kids were ever enough. If he was ever enough. I told him he was. I told him he still is. But he says it doesn't matter anymore. The version of me he loved, the one he thought I was, she doesn't exist. You killed her, he said, when you let someone else in. And I broke, because maybe he's right. Maybe I did. He wants a divorce. He says he doesn't hate me, but he can't live next to someone who held a secret this big for this long. I asked him if he could forgive me if I told him everything. He said he doesn't want to hear it. He wants out. And now I sit in our bedroom, the walls closing in, the air too still. I look at our wedding album on the bookshelf. I see the photo of us laughing in the rain on our honeymoon. I see the card we wrote to each other in the hospital after our daughter was born. And all I can think is, was all of that real? Or does this one terrible choice erase everything else? I don't have the answer. All I know is that I loved him. I still do. But love doesn't always save you. Sometimes it arrives too late. Sometimes it breaks under the weight of truth. And now all that's left is silence. And the sound of a printer that never got fixed.